Welcome to another video from Dr. Lock. Alright, we're going to key up some Whitco Mawson or Whitco Blaxland outer screen door lock, sliding glass door lock cylinders. The Blaxland is available on our website. If you wish to just purchase these cylinders and install them yourself, you can, and then that way you can change the key on your sliding glass door lock. So Whitco Blaxland or Whitco Mawson, take this, maybe one or two others, I don't know, but that's the ones I do know. Alright, so I'm going to be doing all of these, and I'm just going to show you how to do one, and then from there you get the idea. Alright, so let's just pull one apart. So it has this funny tailpiece on the back which actually rotates a quarter of a turn, you can see. It also has indentations where you can cut it depending on your door thickness, so that's pretty common for these type ones. I like to use circlip pliers. See if I can find a decent set here. Yeah, these will probably do. So they're just going to push out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get between that circlip, push out, and then lift my tail and whole assembly out. So basically, the back of the plug has an indentation, has a groove where the circlip fits into. As I spread the circlip, I can then jump over that groove with the tailpiece in the back of the cylinder plug retainer, I guess you could say. What I don't want to do is stretch my circlip. If you see, it's only a very about 6 mil. I want to keep it at 6 mil. If you stretch it too big, you're going to have a lot of troubles getting it back on, and also having it have that strength of retention. And if it comes off down in the future on a customer's job, they're going to end up with pins and springs and calling you back, and then you'll be up for a new cylinder. So what I do is I just place it down on the bench, get between the circlip like so, give it a little squeeze, and then just give it a little pull like that, and I've taken out the back tail piece there. The tail pieces, if you see them as well, they've got like a little L-shaped leg on it. They're available from our lock shop if you've cut the wrong one. So if you've cut your tail piece and you've cut it too short, whoopsies, you need to purchase a new one. So I'm just going to spread the circlip once again. Because I don't have a vise or anything, I'm doing my hands, and my hands will be covering what you can see. So I'll just talk you through it. I'm just going to put my finger over the top there so it doesn't go flying. I'm just going to spread that circlip just enough to get over the bump. Lift up one side of it if I can with my finger. There we go. Whoop. It bounced back on. So let's go for it again. I don't want to stretch this circlip out any more than I have to. And I think we've got one side off. There we go. We've got one side off. Beautiful. There's our circlip. There's our tail piece. Alright, now you've got half of the plug on one side missing. So we're going to rotate it so it's a full side. Then I'm going to come through with my follower on the flat side as well and transfer like a choo-choo train. Choo-choo. Boom. And there we go. Alright, now we're going to dump our old pins like so. Then I'm going to put my old keys off the table because I don't need them no more. Then I'm going to come through and I'm going to decode my key using my Timu little key gauge that I made, which really does make life quicker for me. Normally I could use vernier calipers, but then you have to know each and every depth. And yeah, I do know them, but it's easier just to have when it's got little numbers. So watch. Okay, 4, 3, 4, 4, 5. Okay, now you have to use your mega memory and remember that combination. Alright, so I'm just going to drop some pins in. That pin go in. Okay, all the pins are in, they all meet the shear line. Rubbing my finger over feels good, so I'm happy with that. I'm going to put it in with the key in there. I'm going to transfer on this flat side and on my follower, making sure nothing drops. Going one to the other, like so. Turning it to the 12 o'clock position, pulling the key out, getting my circlip, and using my circlip pliers, just stretching that circlip just enough to put it back over the top, like so. I heard it click in. Now remember, half of it's missing, so that's why it's floating around. Now I'm just going to slide in this back rear section. You can see it's on a ramp here, and the way I've got the circlip, only a little part of the leg is kind of in the section that'll be stretched. So I'm just going to push this together now. Okay, just like that, went in there nicely. Now I'm just going to rotate this circlip around, make sure it's on there, give it a bit of a pull backwards and forwards, make sure that that circlip has not been stretched too much, and that seems to be okay. If it comes off now, it means it's stretched too much and it's not retaining. Alright, check your key, check it, beautiful. Upside down, check it. Key goes in, key comes out. And if you're having troubles getting a key in and out, it could be because there's too much play between the circlip and the thing, but there's not. That's on there tight enough. last check. And checking one that hasn't been touched. Yeah, about the same. Okay, that's how you rekey it. Now let me do it in full speed, okay? So I'll do full speed. I won't tell you, well, actually I'll tell you what I'm doing. Stretching the circlip, popping the circlip off, bringing it around. Might just be able to use these just to pop it off one more time. Popping it off. There we go. And it's off. So I'm just basically doing it at normal speed, what I'd be doing it on a job site. Not really liking the key combination, but I didn't choose it. Okay, happy. Squish. Okay, and we're done. Thanks for watching.